Hey y'all, it's Shani with Wild at Heart.
Let's talk about what is the best way to socialize shy or fearful kittens without completely terrifying them.
We could easily force ourselves on kittens because they're so small and vulnerable, but why would we do that when we can use less aversive techniques to socialize these kittens in a much nicer way? Through these techniques, I've been able to socialize hundreds of kittens very effectively and without terrifying them. And if we can do that and not terrify them, why wouldn't we?
We can use counter conditioning and desensitization techniques to invite frightened kittens into our world instead of forcing them. We acknowledge their stress levels and work with them and not against them. In simple terms, counter conditioning is taking something that is scary for a cat and pairing it with something they love. It teaches them to associate that scary thing with something positive, which in turn teaches them to not fear that scary thing anymore. While desensitization is the process of introducing that scary thing very slowly and at a low intensity, gradually increasing it so it is no longer scary at all. When we use both counter conditioning and desensitization together consistently, we will have very effective and positive change in cats' behavior. This is Suki, a frightened and fearful kitten. She will play with toys attached to humans, but if you try to pet her or approach her without a toy, she will hiss and run away. Let's see counter conditioning and desensitization in action. The first thing I do is simply engage Suki with a toy. No other expectations are required. This is counter conditioning. I am pairing myself, someone who is scary to her, with something positive and fun, a toy. Doing this immediately reduces her fear, anxiety, and stress, which opens the door to desensitization of human touch. Suki was telling me with her body language that she was ready for some desensitization to touch. I very slowly reach down and touch her nose while pairing it with a keyword, touch. I immediately reward her with more play. I repeat this process over and over again, gradually getting a longer touch, a scratch, and then a full-on pet. I always immediately reinforce her, and the reinforcement needs to match the intensity of the request. The bigger ask, the longer she gets to play. Let's watch the progression of this technique.
Touch. Good job. Nice job. Touch. Good job, Curly. Touch. Good girl. Touch. Nice. Touch. Nice job. Nice job.
And then, of course, this is the big payoff at the end. Suki is calm and happy and actually takes a few steps towards me for more pets. Hopefully you can see the benefit of this process over just going forward with petting a very shy and frightened kitten.
There are a few really big kitten organizations that promote flooding techniques, and it's really heartbreaking to me because there are better ways to socialize shy or fearful kittens. Now, flooding is when you completely immerse someone in something that they're extremely scared of. So, for example, if you were scared of spiders, a flooding technique would be to put you in a bin and just literally dump a bunch of spiders on you. Now, personally, I don't know anything that sounds more terrifying than that, but for kittens, sometimes humans are spiders. They're terrified of us. So, how can we socialize them in a way where they won't be terrified? Not only that, they'll be really excited and happy to play with you.
How about using these two techniques in a more enclosed area with two hiding and very frightened kittens?
Touch. Good job. Good job. Touch. Good job. When we use flooding techniques, or in other words, when we force ourselves on kittens, we're literally teaching them the opposite thing of what we want to teach them is we want them to trust us, to love us, to want to be with us. not to just give up and hang out with us because they have no other choice. When cats don't trust us and they fear us, more problematic behaviors are going to arise. So when we're teaching young kittens, we need to set the foundation and let them know that humans are not frightening. And we want to teach them that in a kind way. We don't want to force ourselves and force hold and put them in cages. We want to gently approach them and use counter conditioning and desensitization techniques together in order to make a huge difference for them.
One flooding technique that I absolutely hate but is super popular in the kitten world is called burritos. It's a super cute name for something that's actually not okay, and it ain't cute, y'all. No, I'm not talking about wrapping your cat up in a blanket if they like it. What I am talking about is taking a very frightened kitten and forcibly wrapping them up in a blanket to where they cannot move or get away.
And yeah, eventually they give up. And to some people, that's a success. Not in my opinion. I think that's a cat that has given up, a cat that's terrified, and a cat that's learning that humans cannot be trusted. When cats don't trust humans, they tend to lash out. That's why they have claws. That's why they have sharp teeth to protect themselves. And it's super frustrating for me as a cat behaviorist to see people get really upset at cats who are literally just being cats. You know, we force cats into these very unnatural situations and we put these massive expectations on them. And when they don't fall in line, we punish them. We call them jerks and we make ludicrous statements about cats. So I'm begging you, don't use flooding techniques. I don't care if the kitten organization has been around for a really long time, what kind of work that they've done. Don't do it. There are better ways to socialize kittens. And it's not to say that these organizations aren't effective, that they're not saving lives. They absolutely are. I just think that there is a better way to socialize kittens where you can have even better results. In the end, we might have the same results, but in my opinion, the way you get there is really important. The end shouldn't justify the means.
I always put myself in the position of the cat that I'm working with, and I ask myself, what would I want? I would want compassion, kindness, and patience, and I would want to have control over my own body. I really hope that you find these techniques helpful and that you're able to implement them with socializing shy and frightened kittens. Let's keep cats wild at heart, let's respect their needs, and provide a safe and stress-free environment. Thanks for watching. Like, follow, and subscribe.